Hi guys. I hope you guys are all having a great weekend. Um, I want to show you what I got as I don't know. I guess it's like hope of what I think will come. Um, I have never seen I've only ever seen a onesie, and it never really looked like this before. And I've never seen one with a tutu. And it was only $1 from the op shop, and I just fell in love with it the minute that I saw it, and was just like, I need to have that. And it will be what I use to do a gender reveal when I get pregnant with a little girl. It is 3 to 6 months. It's 00. So, otherwise, if I'm gonna put this chapter to rest, I will give it to someone probably at home. But I have got so much hope that, yeah, it's gonna happen. And speaking of that hope, it's really weird because like, tonight, I am a little bit, sad and are feeling quite low. And I have these moments where I feel quite low. It's really weird. Um, but the weird thing is that in this moment of feeling quite low, I actually feel quite hopeful and confident and beautiful, and I feel like a promise is going to be made and it's going to happen, and um, the future is looking really good, and I'm so thankful that I have the opportunity to do this healing. And as I speak of this healing, today I went and listened to the there's a lot of pages actually. Today I went and listened to my spiritual healer again. And so I've written out some of it that I'll tell you. I kind of went through with her, like how I came to New Zealand. She asked me how my faith level has changed, and I kind of said, or like where my faith level was now, and I said it was different than when, like, I first came, I guess, and I was like 100%, like I was not as open minded as I was. And I kind of had blinders on, even though I had experience with like a little bit of drug and alcohol abuse, single parents. Like I wasn't sheltered from any of that kind of stuff. I still was very emotionally immature to be able to see some of those things or be able to understand some of those experiences in the world. And I wasn't able to be myself. And she's saying like I'm probably still not able to be myself. She feels like there's a lot of like I might be a humanitarian, yeah, which is just interesting because like I remember reading books about like mission trips to like on mercy ships and like going and building schools and going to like I've always had the desire to go to Africa to work in an AIDS orphanage and like help build something for them and stuff like that. So like I do have that kind of stuff in me. I've just not kind of, I guess, figured out whether or not that was something I was going to do. So she asked me about like my work and why that was important to me and what I really came into her for. Um, she made me think about like why, um, like I didn't figure like this issue never came to light until I was married because I never used a tampon. And I feel like in my generation, um, you were kind of told not to wear a tampon, because you would break yourself. And if you broke yourself, then you weren't a virgin anymore. So things like that, that's like bogus, but that's kind of what happened. Um, and I spoke a little bit of stuff about like my childhood and stuff like that. She asked about my dad, so I told her a little bit about that. Um, I told her how I hadn't thought about like specialize like retraining, doing some more training around childhood welfare, specializing in trauma. I've never thought about that, but I have thought about mentoring youth. Um, and she did about 20 minutes of speaking in tongues and talking about um, like giving thanks for the experiences that I've gone through and like trying to release that. And it's not giving thanks in the way that you're like, I guess just not. I mean, I know everything I've been through. I am that type of person that's kind of like, my cup is half full rather than half empty. Um, and so I know all these experiences have made me who I am. So I needed to go through these. It was interesting because she was trying to get me to break down my barriers, and she was feeling really dizzy and really nauseous doing some of this stuff. And she was saying that that was like my body should have been feeling that, but she understood that it wasn't. And like her heart rate was going really, really fast. And mine wasn't. Some of the things she said when she was doing that in speaking in tongues, she was feeling weight pressure on your body. You don't like feeling weight pressure on your body. And I did tell her this was untrue. I didn't know anything about it. She could see that I had a UTI. I was getting inflamed, and I started going to the toilet lots because I was inflamed. And couldn't help it because I had an infection, and that made me feel sick and gave you a bit of a fever and a headache reoccurring. And it's interesting because that's exactly what happened to me when I was 9 and I had the bladder infection. She talked about some mustaches. I'm not all that keen on people having mustaches and having them close to my face, but I feel like that's normal for people. I don't like when people are in my face like this, but I think that's, again, a lot of people would be like that, but she picked up on that. She said there was a period in my life where I stopped growing and I didn't grow very much, and I did wonder if that was like because I was born 26, at 26 and a half week, and obviously I stopped growing. I developed lots of allergies of food and scratching of my skin or something. I did wonder if that was more around, like as a child I had not really allergies, but like I had to be on a special diet and stuff for ADHD. She said she thinks there was times when I like blacked out and I lost my memory, which I don't have a lot of my memory from childhood anyways. And after that, they put me in front of the TV to watch something. And I was with some kind of scratchy blanket or crocheted rug. I was given some like mind altering drug, which we do think there was someone that was living with us at a time that was giving us drugs. And she said you might get some flashbacks. or have had flashbacks of something that you watched as a movie and you felt like it was happening to you, which is interesting because there's another time in here that she says something about you've got a fear of water and fear of open spaces of water and fear of drowning. And it's interesting because I didn't tell her and it didn't come up. When I was younger, and my mom said this for sure didn't happen, so I must have seen it on TV. So, like, correlating the two. That I felt like my bed was which I think I might have said last time. My bed was the water, and my bed was the boat, and the carpet was the water, and I kept her up for ages. So that was interesting that those things came up because I didn't tell her that. She said there was something that I was given when something was done to me that shouldn't have been, and I liked it, but I hated what it did to me. Some psychological memory. She said I was feeling dizzy at school and being maybe really weak at school and hard to concentrate. Don't know that. Blurred vision. Don't know that. There was a teacher that was aware of what was going on with me and was very protective. And it's like the same as what I'm protective of others. This person was protective of me. She said a Miss Elliot, but I looked back on all my report cards today, and there's no Miss Elliot, so I'm not sure what that is. Stomach sensitive, swelling pain, can't touch. I don't know what that was. Inflamed. I don't know. A mother was aware of something happening, but too scared to intervene. And somebody threatened her life and then threatened both of our lives. And that person was associated with a group or a gang, or something. He was affiliated with something. It was an older man. And chunks of my memory are missing, which is 100% true. I had moments of emotional depression, thought you were losing it. You felt you were hallucinating or hearing voices. And it was interesting because she said cutting or something. You felt you needed release and self-harm. And that's really interesting that came out. Like, it came up teen years. And then she did another little blah, 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 blah. So I'd say that, and she'd go blah, 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 and then she'd say something, and then she'd go blah, 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 blah. So she did that with teen years, and then she said cutting or something you felt needed release and self-harm. And it's interesting because I have said previously at one point in time I was envisioning and couldn't be around knives because I felt about cutting myself. But I never did it. And I also wrote a story on cutting as well. Never did it, but did do it in a dream. She said someone came into your life helping you and saving you. In my dream, there was a specific person that did come into my life and help me and save me. So it was interesting. But obviously that didn't happen in real life. It was all a dream. She said wearing lots of clothes, even in hot weather, I need to keep clothes on. I did wonder if that was more about like being at my dad's, and not just because they're Islamic, but situations that I went through while I was there with one of my brothers that was slightly uncomfortable and inappropriate. And I just made sure that I had lots of clothes on while I was around him or sleeping in his room. Reaction of medicine. I've got a mistrust in medicine and in doctors. Like, I totally don't like doctors, and I actually don't trust them as far as I can throw them. They haven't done me any good at the moment. Yeah. I think the only doctor I feel like I really trusted was my mom's family doctor that she had for years, because he always made the best choices for my mom and for us. But since then, the doctor that she's had has been horrible. She did have one doctor this time in the hospital that was amazing, but other than that, they've been horrible, and I've not really found the doctors here very helpful. Again, there was one doctor that I literally had her for like 3 months, and she moved to Australia, so that kind of sucks. My body tends to repel some medicine. She said, when I was younger, I was left on my own for long periods, spaces at a time, as a baby, and so it was abandonment and felt abandoned. Not obviously, I have no recollection of that. Claustrophobic, too many people around. That came up quite a few times. Fear, get out of the elevator, too many people around, claustrophobic. I don't like lots of people, and I can remember actually being quite scared of elevators. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure how I kind of got over that. I mean, I will use elevators now, but I will also use the stairs too. If there is too many people in the elevator, I don't normally tend to go in. Suppression of sexual desire and feelings. That was feeling dirty, switching it off. A significant event when I was 16. I think that's when I became a Christian. So that might be betrayal of someone meant to be good and wasn't. I don't like saying they weren't, because I feel like I know who they're talking about here. And I wouldn't like to say that person wasn't good, but I just think the pedestal I had them on, they're not on that pedestal as much anymore. But I don't hold any resentment towards them. There is someone who did something inappropriate to me, an older person who's since passed away, but yeah, I mean, I guess that would be the only thing. But still, I wouldn't say that they weren't good anymore. She was trying to really hard to get me to go like deeper into my heart and dig up some emotions, and I just can't do it, because like I've said many times to people, and probably in my thing, I am emotionless. Like, I literally really struggle to bring any kind of emotion. I'll get a lump in my throat. I might get a couple like tears that will escape from my eyes, but other than that, it's gone burgers. I just can't do it anymore. It drives me nuts, because I feel like people think I'm like so insensitive. But it's really awful. She says, I'm clearing things of disgrace over your life, hiding, have back someone always, like, I'm someone who's always aware. I'm hypo-vigilant of where everyone is into my body. I do feel like I am always on edge. I actually cannot relax whatsoever. The minute like a door slams or whatever, my body immediately goes into like flight or fright. I can feel it every time. Liking a house with many, many doors. Something about clearing sleeping pills. My body doesn't like sleeping pills, so I'm not sure what that was. Connection with your mother, which I absorbed. Somehow whatever happened to her, I kind of taken on board, and I guess I do kind of do that a little bit. And there's a very strong connection between me, my mom, and my grandma, which 100% makes sense. I'm named after her as well. And I've always felt very connected to her. So it was about 17 minutes of speaking in tongues. She said, advocate of setup of educational strategies for those in trauma. She says I have an administrative gift, which I do. There's no men energy in my like future at the moment. It's mostly just platonic. but some will come, but it's a while away. And this part of my life right now is on healing, which is what, even when my friend did her reading, that's what it was on too. It's like so much healing. And I'm really thankful because I know that I'm aware of this healing, and I really am excited for this healing as much as I know that it's going to be hard on me. In the future, there's going to be shifts in my work, like time and money, but right now I'm just concentrating on healing, which is true. Everything's told me I need to be creative, art, drawing, artistic, need to express dreams that are not touched. I don't even know what those dreams are, apart from like maybe Africa and humanitarian stuff that she said. Like, yeah, I feel like there is so much of myself that I haven't been able to tap into because I've been so worried about taking care of other people, and I'm just starting to connect to myself. She said, don't underestimate your big dreams and use like to draw poetry or whatever. I need to express them. So yeah, that was kind of what she said. She keeps saying like I'm so courageous. Yesterday I really struggled to sleep. I've just put peppermint on myself, and that seems to have helped. I had like my joints here and all down my arms. Like I have to sleep on my back, which I never sleep on my back because I was like really struggling. It felt like almost like restless leg, but in my arms. It was really bad last night. I don't know what it is. And my spine just doesn't feel right. So I'm not getting the headache that I was, but I can just feel my spine like up here. It's not even down here really. It's like up in the middle here. There's just it feels like it's cracked or something. I don't even know, but it's uncomfortable and I don't like it. But I'm hoping that it's just because she's manipulated it a little bit and it's just gonna calm down. Yeah, I should have looked into stuff this weekend, but I didn't for the vaginismus. But I will look into that, and then I will show you guys some of the like exercises if I feel like I can do them. Anyways, I am going to go to bed. I have got this week I am doing P-Walker group, so I'm excited for that. We're not starting to learn about the letter A yet. I thought we were, but we're not. I think we're going to try to make a treaty with the kids, like rules for the room that we can go over with them, like basic. And just probably find out about their holidays and stuff. Maybe they can draw some pictures about their holidays. And then they can write the words if they're able to write the words of what they did. Yeah, we'll probably do that this week. So yeah, I love being in P-Walker group because it just means that I get to be teaching them be school ready. You know, they do a lot more writing in there. It's very like kind of prime and proper kind of deal, getting ready for school. So I really like that. Anyways, I'm going to end this and go to sleep. Good night.